Welcome and thank you for joining us on Birth Mother Matters in Adoption with Kelly Rourke-Scary and me, Ron Rains, where we delve into the issues of adoption from every angle of the adoption triad.
Do what's best for your kid and for yourself, because if you can't take care of yourself, you're definitely not going to be able to take care of that kid, and that's not fair. And I know that my daughter will be well taken care of with them.
Don't have an abortion. Give this child a chance.
All I could think about was needing to save my son.
My name is Kelly Rourke-Scary. I am the Executive Director, President, and co-founder of Building Arizona Families Adoption Agency, the Donna K. Evans Foundation, and creator of the You Before Me campaign. I have a bachelor's degree in family studies and human development and a master's degree in education with an emphasis in school counseling. I was adopted at the age of 3 days, born to a teen birth mother, raised in a closed adoption, and reunited with my birth mother in 2007. I have worked in the adoption field for over 15 years.
And I'm Ron Rains. I've worked in radio since 1999. I was the co-host of 2 successful morning shows in Prescott, Arizona. Now I work for my wife, who's an adoption attorney, and I'm able to combine these 2 great passions and share them on this podcast.
We've been talking about hospitals lately, and now we're going to talk up from the adoptive parent side.
Finally!
We talked a little bit about it before.
Okay.
When we talked about that feeling when you get handed your baby.
Right.
And how excited you are and all those emotions that are going to hit you. So when you get to the hospital and you kind of get the lay of the land, you've got your case manager there supporting you emotionally, and she's right there with you. That moment, this is before baby's born. You get to figure out where you're going to be, whether you're going to be in delivery room. Hopefully you've had a chance to go over the hospital plan that the birth mother has created, so you know what she wants. She wants you in labor and delivery. Be there for her. If it's awkward for you, get over it.
Yeah.
Just be there.
The sacrifice she's making, you can be a little uncomfortable too.
Yeah, and it's okay. And you can close your eyes if you need to.
Pick a spot on the wall.
Right. And just know that this is a moment that is being shared with you that is beautiful.
And you know what? You're going to look back on this and go, thank God I was there. Thank God I went in.
You can look your child in the face and say, I was there the moment you were born.
Yep.
And coming from somebody who has been lucky enough to have 4 of those moments, I will say there's nothing like it.
I agree. I've only done it once, and, well, I'm never going to do it again at this age. But, yeah, you never forget. I remember every minute of it.
And it's a beautiful, beautiful time.
Yeah.
So when you are headed to the hospital as an adoptive family, we always recommend that you have a car seat ready. You don't want to show up at the hospital to meet birth mom, with a baby bag and a car seat, like I'm coming to get the baby,
Right.
before she's even had the baby.
No.
That would be a little bit much. Like, here I am.
Yeah,
And-
maybe leave that stuff in the car.
Right.
for the
Unless
time
you're in
being.
Arizona and, then, maybe leave it at the hotel until, it's time to take the baby home. But a lot of times birth moms will show up with an outfit that they want the baby to go home in. And sometimes the adoptive parents have one too. And we just say, you know what, let's honor the birth mom and let's let her put the baby in the outfit. And
And you know what? Get in the parking lot and change the baby if you have to.
right. The other thing too that's important to note is when in the hospital plan, there's most likely a section for how she wants to discharge to go. Sometimes the birth mothers would like to leave with the baby, and sometimes the baby will leave before them. It really depends on if there are medical issues and baby needs to stay at the hospital, or if everybody's good to go. Again, it depends on, if the baby's been exposed to, substance abuse during the birth mother's pregnancy, if baby's, premature. So if everything's good to go and they can leave at the same time, that's always ideal. That's what the majority of birth moms would like to do, is they'd like to leave at the same time.
Okay.
And that's obviously a very emotional time for everybody. We've talked about in the past, adoptive families are crying right along with birth mom. And normally
And case managers
are
and everybody
crying
else,
too.
nurses,
Yeah,
everybody.
absolutely. Yeah. Everybody is crying. And, it's one of those moments that when you're in it, you're in it. And it's beautiful. It's beautiful leaving. And so when your baby is born and you have insurance, Obviously, we're not an insurance provider, so that's a disclaimer. And you need to check with your individual insurance policy. But with most insurance companies for medical insurance, you're responsible for the baby from the time the baby is born. You do have 30 days to put the baby on your policy, but the hospital will be asking you for your insurance information for the baby. So make sure that you have that ready. And the coverage for an adopted child is the same as if it was a biological child.
Right. That makes sense.
So that's important to know. The other piece of information that is important to note is that there is many companies that do give a period of time where you can take like a leave of absence under family medical law. They will allow that, and they will pay you to spend time with the baby after the baby is born. That's something to check with your employer. Also, one thing that you want to remember when you're there, and your adoptive, your agency should help as well, is just making sure that you do get all the baby's medical records, because there'll be a shot record along with if there were any medical complications, you'll want to get those so that you can take the baby to a pediatrician afterwards for a follow-up. And normally that's done within the 24 to 72 hours after the baby is discharged, depending on the situation and how baby is doing. Also, remember when you're in the hospital that you want to see exactly what formula the baby is on so you can continue with the same formula. Sometimes hospitals have a preference of which one they use. Sometimes babies will go on the sensitive formula if they have been exposed to drugs prenatally. That is a common one that's used for those types of babies.
Okay.
Make sure that you do have an outfit for the baby when it's time for discharge, just in case the birth mother did not bring one, and a blanket, and then a newborn car seat as well. Car seats do expire, so make sure you check the car seat expiration date, which is crazy because back in the day, I don't remember car seats expiring.
No, I don't either. It might all be a scam from this big car seat.
Well, no, it makes sense because if you think about it, after 7 years, like the belts start to deteriorate and they're not as strong.
Especially if you live in a climate like Arizona's.
Right.
With the sun beating down on them. No,
It makes perfect sense. And they say it's like a motorcycle helmet too, to where if you get in an accident, you throw it away.
Oh, okay.
And
because it's already been compromised.
Correct.
Much the same as a car seat.
So that makes perfect sense. And
it does.
And the insulation on the car seat is almost like styrofoam-ish. Mm-hmm. So the styrofoam on-ish material that's on the inside will start to deteriorate and disintegrate.
Certainly.
So that does make sense. And plus, it's fun to buy a new car seat.
Yeah, it's fun to buy new stuff for babies in general.
Yeah, baby stuff is fun.
Yeah.
The other thing, too, that I have to say is I love the green pacifiers that they give to newborns in the hospital. Really? But some hospitals are doing away with pacifiers, binkies. I like the word binky better. But they're doing away with them because they're encouraging breastfeeding. And when there's an adoption situation, that's really not recommended in the majority of cases because it's harder. It's a bonding activity. Mm-hmm. And so that makes it harder for everybody. But yes, those binkies are amazing.
So what's so cool about the green binkies?
What's so cool? Well, they're not cute.
Okay.
I mean, they're not, now they have the cute fun words on them. Like the screamer stopper. They have like the little beards or the lips on the outside of the binky.
Like a little goatee.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, that is funny.
They've come a long way.
They have. There was one that was called the shutter upper. I thought that was funny.
Right.
Silencer, mute, and so I think that's funny. But I don't know, they work.
Okay. Yeah, they do work. Absolutely.
They work. Was your son a binky baby?
He was. I don't even remember for how long, but yes, he was.
So my adopted brother was really a binky baby, and he turned into a binky young man. And when he was 6, he stopped, and he used to use 2 at a time.
Really?
Yeah, he loved binkies.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it worked for him.
It did. It worked for him. Everybody has their thing. Kids suck their thumbs until they're, 11, 12.
Yeah, I sucked my thumb for a long time. I remember that. I know it was a fight for my mom to get me to stop.
Did she put the old nail polish on that had that bitter taste?
She put something on, and it didn't work. I just get it off of there. But I obviously grew out of it last year, and so I'm very proud.
Yeah. Did you have to have braces?
No, never had braces.
Okay, so you defy the odds, because they say if you suck your thumb for a really long time, you increase your chances.
Kind of gives you buck teeth or whatever. I know that's what they told me when I was a kid.
Yeah, but no, your teeth are straight.
straight-ish. They're in my mouth, and that's a good place for them.
So enjoy and look forward to your time at the hospital.
Yes.
This is a time you will forever treasure.
Tell Me Again About the Night I Was Born by Jamie Lee Curtis and illustrated by Laura Cornell. Tell me again about the night I was born. Tell me how you and Daddy were curled up like spoons and Daddy was snoring. Tell me again how the phone rang in the middle of the night and they told you I was born. Tell me how you screamed. Tell me again how you called Granny and Grandpa right away, but they didn't hear the phone because they sleep like logs. Tell me again how you got on an airplane with my baby bag and flew to get me and how there was no movie,
What?
only peanuts.
Okay, I like peanuts.
Tell me again how you couldn't grow a baby in your tummy, so another woman who was too young to take care of me was growing me, and she would be my birth mother, and you would adopt me and be my parents. Tell me again how you held hands all the way to the hospital, and when you got there, you both got very quiet and felt very small. Tell me again about the first time you saw me through the nursery window and how you couldn't believe something so small could make you smile so big. Tell me again how tiny and perfect I was. Tell me again about the first time you held me in your arms and you called me your baby sweet. Tell me again how you cried happy tears. Tell me again how you carried me like a china doll all the way home and how you glared at anyone who sneezed. Tell me again about my first bottle and how I liked it so much. Tell me again about my first diaper change and how I didn't like it at all. Tell me again about the first night you were my daddy and you told me about baseball being the perfect game like your daddy told you. Tell me again about the first night you were my mommy and you sang the lullaby your mommy sang to you. Tell me again about our first night as a family. Mommy, Daddy, tell me again about the night I was born.
Well, my name's Maria. I'm 34, and I placed my son up for adoption. The reason for my placement was because I wasn't financially stable. I didn't have a home of my own. I was actually homeless, and I think that it was the best thing for my son, which turned out to be an amazing thing to do because I still see him to this day. He has an amazing family that I love so much, that loves me dearly, and I really appreciate them for all that they've done. Then I ended up getting pregnant again with my daughter. I chose a family that had biological kids of their own, which was my first placement. And then my second placement was my daughter, which I chose a family that couldn't have any kids. And she is actually doing pretty good herself. And I'm just happy with the decision that I made because I'm still financially not stable, but I know that my kids are fine and well taken care of. And I do get pictures and letters and like every 6 months. I think that it'll be the best thing for you guys to do if that's what you're deciding to do. And Building Arizona Family is a great company to, work with because they're awesome.
We have a pregnancy crisis hotline available 24/7 by phone or text at 623-695-4112, or you can call our toll-free number 1-800-340-9665. We can make an immediate appointment with you to get you to a safe place, provide food and clothing, and started on creating an Arizona adoption plan or give you more information. You can check out our blogs on our website at azpregnancyhelp.com. Thank you for joining us on Birth, Mother Matters, and Adoption, written and produced by Kelly Rourke-Scary and edited by me, Ron Rains. If you enjoy this podcast, rate and review us wherever you listen to podcasts. And as always, thanks to Grapes for letting us use their song I Don't Know as our theme song. Join us next time for Birth, Mother Matters, and Adoption. For Kelly Rourke-Scary, I'm Ron Rains, and we'll see you then.